I thought that Sabbath was just something that Jews practiced, but over the past 4 or 5 years, it started just popping up in different books and podcasts that I was listening to. And something just clicked. I just knew that setting aside a day a week for rest was something that our family really needed. How we actually do it has changed over the years as we've figured out what rest actually is to us. And just the fact that we didn't really know can kind of tell you a lot about us, or maybe for us as a culture that we are not very good at resting. But we've learned that what we do matters way less than we thought. Sabbath for us is about having a posture of focusing on God. We let go of the week. We let go of all of the appointments. Let go of the family schedule juggling act. And we let go of conversations that we've had with other people that maybe didn't go as we hoped. And we let go of our phones and distractions and just let our souls catch up with our bodies. We usually start Thursday night. Sometimes we have to move it to Friday before Max comes home, but usually Friday night we tidy up the place. And we might even vacuum if we're in a really good mood, but we do not go on a crazy cleaning frenzy because our house has to look a certain way. No, this is just to help us rest and focus. Because less clutter and visual reminders of the ongoing tasks or to-do lists, they all get put away, and we get a day to not think about them. What a gift. But it's not easy to let it go mentally. And on some Sabbaths, we do better than on others. But we are intentional about practicing, and we keep trying every week. Things that take up mental space can be kind of hard to let go of. Practice for us is to give it to God. So we just keep giving it and giving it until we finally feel free of it and we're able to focus on God instead. And this sometimes takes quite a long time. Other times it's pretty easy to get to that state of mind, but other times, honestly, it's hard. We refocus on who's most important, and that posture has really helped me change my heart in how I do Sabbath. It is truly a time to disconnect from everything going on and just rest. Apart from tidying up, I bake a small batch of homemade buns or rolls. And it's kind of my little transition activity. I bake the same every Friday, and it's relaxing and enjoyable for me. We make sure to have food in the fridge, but other than the buns, I don't do any food prep. We just make sure to have something pretty simple ready. I usually have some pizza dough in the freezer, and sometimes I take some of that out and we can make pizza, which is very simple, very relaxing and slow activity to do as a family. Or we might have a lot of root vegetables that we'll all combine and just chop up and roast them in the oven. Now that it's winter, I'll also sometimes get a batch of risengrød, which is a Danish dish, going in the morning. You get it to a boil, and then I put it under our duvets, and it slow cooks the entire day, and then it just takes 10 minutes to reheat it at night. And risengrød is something simple that we all enjoy. We really like to keep it simple. We love good food, and if you're at a season in life where you're able to cook and sit through an entire meal, then do that. Savor it. But don't give yourself work because you think that you should eat something fancy. Remember in Mark 2 where Jesus reminds his disciples, the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. Because we need it. It's not about rules and what's allowed or not. It's about resting our hearts. It's about setting our hearts back on Jesus and resting. And a big way that we do this is we get rid of the biggest distraction in our lives, our phones. They literally go on flight mode and into the drawer in the kitchen. And it just feels so good. It didn't in the beginning. I have to tell you, it took us several, I want to say months even, to get into that rhythm. But now it's one of the things where Morten and I will actually both at different times be like, on Wednesday or Thursday, one of us will be like, I cannot wait to put this thing away. And that in of itself is pretty amazing. It's so hard to do though, and letting go of those thoughts of what if something happens, it's not easy to shake. But chances are that absolutely nothing truly important will happen. And we are allowed to choose to lean into that fact. We have thought about getting a simple phone just for our parents to call in case of an emergency, since Morten's parents are in their 80s and mine don't have the greatest of health. But there's also the fact that we both have siblings and they're fully capable of handling if something happens to come up on a Friday. And sometimes you just have to give yourself the gift of being unavailable and then trust that it'll all be fine. So our Sabbath starts Friday at 3 when Max comes home from school. We put our phones away and we sit down and we light a candle and we eat the buns. And then we drink really good coffee or tea and just hang out and do slow activities and let ourselves kind of unwind from the week. Then we also, almost every Friday, go for a little walk to the candy store. We have a slick kiosk right up the street, and we have a little Danish tradition that's called hviledag, which is Friday candy. And I don't particularly like it, but what I love about it is that it gets us out. So we get to go out for a little walk. And on that walk, a lot of times, we'll just talk through the week, but also Max will start telling us these random funny things that happened in school or something a teacher said or something he completely forgot, because there's just something about getting out and naturally walking that helps us process and get stuff out. So I love that tradition. If we don't go to the candy store, a lot of times during the summer, we'll go to our favorite ice cream shop and we'll sit on a bench and just people watch. And usually bring home a few treats, and then at night we most likely will watch a movie or a handball match. Max loves handball, and I do too, so we just go with it. And I'll usually push for a board game, but the guys are not often willing to do it, and a movie is also relaxing, so it's fine. After Max has been put to bed, Morten and I will sit, usually just on the couches, and we'll talk. Sometimes we'll have some prayer time or Bible time, listen to some music. Sometimes we do listen or watch a podcast together. It's usually the Rebuilders podcast. We really enjoy getting those kind of input together, but it's not about entertainment. If we do watch something, it's mostly about rest. And we just shed the week together, and it's wonderful. And we do go to bed early, because if we stay up late, we are so tired the day after that we are not able to fully either feel rested, but not to fully enjoy the activities that we have planned either. And we've just found this out, that maybe we're getting old, I don't know. We're both in our 40s, but it takes discipline. But going to bed around 10 and then actually being awake the next morning and feeling rested is more valuable to us than to stay up until midnight. Our Saturday mornings are very slow, and that's the whole intent of it. We might get to sleep in a little bit, like 7, maybe 7:30, but in general, one of us at least will get up with Max, maybe watch a little bit of morning TV or something, but usually we just play, and we don't have any structure. We don't do like big fancy brunches or anything. We usually keep the food pretty simple. It's mostly just about doing those slow things, like whatever we feel like. Max is very into Sudoku right now, and just getting up and for him to do that without having to get out the door is wonderful. Sometimes we build Legos, we draw, we use Fimo clay, we go for a bike ride. There's really not a rule. It's just to have a slow and restful morning. At 10:30, Max has handball practice, and this is when we are allowed, if we need to take our phones out, because sometimes we do have some planning or communication going on with whoever we might be meeting up with during Saturday. So it's helpful that we are allowed to bring it out. But while they're gone, Morten usually take them. I have a little bit of quiet time to just breathe. And when they get back from handball around noon, our Sabbath is officially over. We are a small family of 3, and just hanging out with mom and dad all day for Max does not cut it. So we like to have some activities for Saturday, and we usually just meet up with some friends around noon or something. So our Sabbath is not 24 hours, but I don't think that that's the important part. So we always just try to find the balance. We don't believe that Sabbath is about the rules of 24 hours or not cooking. It's about accepting this gift of a weekly rest day that God has built into the foundation of following Him. Because we need it, and because wonderful things happen in us when we set aside time to focus on God. He gets to fill us up. We find that one thing that has changed for us is that we walk with a different posture throughout the following week. And I would just love to know in the comments down below, if you're watching on YouTube, do you have a weekly rest day? And if you do, what do you like to do on it? Because Sabbath is not something a lot of people practice in Denmark, or a rest day for that matter. So I would love some ideas. I hope you will leave them in the comments. I would love to know.